greetings. This is a great honor, great pleasure for the Christian Youth Foundation to be here on camera and to be able to formulate some information that is pertinent to the community. One of the projects that we have is affordable housing development, and this is being done through the Community Reinvestment Act of 1977. One of the major components in this regard is banks. What is the name of this bank, excuse me, that is related to Bank of America? Yes, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, as well as other banks, Washington Mutual. Speaking of Washington Mutual is one of the main components of the Affordable Housing Development Project presently, as well as the Christian Youth Foundation has other aspects of charitable initiative, faith-based partnerships. But there's an enormous amount of things to discuss, which we don't have the time for presently. So what we would like to focus our dynamics on presently is practical word power. And we have the author of Practical Word Power here amongst the audience. And we'd like to introduce Mr. Richard Cavalier, who is the author of Practical Word Power, as well as some other components in relation to the ESL, Educational Design, Instruction Design, what have you. So, Mr. Cavalier, please introduce yourself to the community.
Thank you, Harvey. I'd like everyone to know, I think, to start off what the book does, and then we can go through some of its background. The title of the book is Practical Word Power, and it is exactly that sort of thing. It enables people in a very, very short time to put together something useful in language learning that they probably can't get except for months and months or years and years at school, which doesn't help very much for people who are short on the mainstream language here. Anyone who speaks standard English can use this book in order to tutor up to 10 of the foreign-born, get them to sidestep their vowel structure, pronounce from out of the dictionary. They abandon their structure and adopt ours. This is important because schools are requiring people to go in and to memorize the words, 10 new words a week, probably for the rest of their life. There's 250,000 believe that's most important. Now, I don't want to just rattle on here. Do you have some specific questions for me?
Yeah, well, I'd like to make mention of some things that are very important in regards to the overall picture of where practical word power is, how practical word power can be used, the connection to housing and some other aspects that you might be able to fulfill the audience in, to show the expansive nature that this particular design has, not only in just the fact of language, but as a form of behavior, to augment some of the radical isms that are being confronted in our society, such as gangs, drugs, and alcohol, because through the emotion design of mind and the behavior of mind, that is the whole sequence of being able to express yourself. So if you can speak about those aspects, I think it would probably be able to broaden and increase the expansion and depth of the audience understanding as well.
I have opinions. Do you want to hear some opinions?
Well, I like to have opinions in regards to specifics.
To this. Yeah. The specifics of this is, I think, especially when we're away from adults and away from children, we'll leave that over in the schools. When we're talking about the incarcerated, these are people, I think, who are willing to use any means necessary to get ahead in the only thing that seems to matter in our society, making money. We care more about how much money a person has than how they made it. And if that weren't true, we wouldn't have had Enron, we wouldn't have had all of the other things that are coming out now. Very embarrassing. It's lack of ethics. But ethics and money put together, ethics tends to lose out very, very easily. Now, the important thing is that this can be taught also in the jails. However, we've volunteered, and one of the answers we got was that someone would have to be, a guard would have to be assigned to the classroom in the incarceration facility, and they don't have the guards, so they're turning the system more and more back to the schools who have already failed. Now, if you have the failure of the school brought to the failure in the jails in this segment, what are you going to get other than failure? Might have a success. Chance can do a lot of things, but it can't dependably do anything. We'll tell you about the book if you have no other comments that you want to make first.
Well, the only other comments that I would like to make is that the whole sphere of this is an enormous amount of money. The Christian Youth Foundation is addressing this matter through its Affordable Housing Development Project, as well as being a part of the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development single-family program. But it's an extensive amount of money that we have to have. We have not been able to acquire any assistance from governmental agencies, although we are a charitable initiative, faith-based partnership, a charitable corporation. Although this has not occurred, it seems to be, from my point of view, a hindrance here to keep people directed in a way that is inferior to the nature of broadening the scope and increasing the depth. However, that's not really for me to say totally. However, we do have some doctors on our board of directors. One, Dr. Terry Scott, who is a professor at Hampton University, who has done massive research in the structure of general population, and the behavior design of instruction is, from her point of view, from that doctor's point of view, is that practical word power is the solution to behavior, as well as the augmentation of things that are contrary to the drugs and the other ills that face society. So from this point of view, I think it's very important for people to know that the Christian Youth Foundation is doing something here that is a landmark in the areas of disenfranchised and being able to open up new doors to prosperities, but not changing the world, but trying to change conditions of people that are in need in immediate areas of the world and throughout the world. So from that point, I have nothing else to say. If there's other questions that needs to be addressed from the audience, they have the wherewithal to do that. And not only that, I would like for the audience to know more in detail as to what is occurring with the information that they see before us now in terms of dictionaries and practical word power.
Okay, let's go to an individual. As an individual organization, that's fine, an ethnic, or if you would like to, if you're a church or other group which can have a number of these, we will gladly help. In any case, you've made an offer of free books. Why don't you tell people about that?
Well, the Christian Youth Foundation, as mentioned by Mr. Cavalier, is opening its doors to providing all of this information for groups that are in the community, and to broaden the scope and increasing its depth in the matter of being able to educate our society and to restaurate the matter of education that has been so much, what can I say, degraded by incompetence. So from this point forward, the Christian Youth Foundation stands ready to administer whatever information, whatever concern, whatever interest that the community at large has, and this is our project, to give to the community. This is why we're here. This is the reason that God has given us the opportunity to exist, for the purpose of making things better for the community.